Welcome, everybody, to our sales Zoom call. Glad y'all can attend, and hopefully we can learn something. We are going to help you. My objective for tonight's meeting, of course, if you have questions, we certainly will help you with those. But the main purpose of tonight is to really focus on ways to make you more effective with leads and without leads. I think, we've come to the point in the evolution of our business where we do really have to, get with the times. Okay. And it might be helpful to kind of give you a little bit of our history with the Alliance and how the Alliance has evolved over 20 some odd years, 22 years. And we were also with another agency, 2 years before that. So really we got started in insurance in 1999 through American Classic Agency. And then we started the Alliance in 2002. July 2002. So, back then it was a target-rich environment because we started in mortgage protection. The mortgage protection industry actually started in 1995 with a guy in Chicago who had the brilliant idea to send postcard mailers to people that just got a mortgage, that were recorded at the courthouse. So back then they would actually have people to go to the courthouse and physically record on a laptop, computer, all the recorded mortgages from microfiche. And some of you aren't old enough to even know what microfiche is, but they'd go to the courthouse, they'd spend all day, and these people were paid like $10 an hour to do this. They would gather all this data, and the data was then transferred into a database, and then that's how the postcard mailers were developed. And back then, to get mailers, leads were back then about $10 each. And that was in 2000 was when the mortgage boom started, right? So it was a confluence of events that occurred, and the return rate on these postcards were like 4%. So if any of you know anything about direct mail marketing, 4% is insane, right? Actually, it was higher than that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 4%, which is insane. Leads were like $10 a piece. And when we call up, we were booking 80% of our appointments, and we were closing 80%. And of the ones we closed, 75% had return of premium. So we're doing mortgage term, and we're just knocking it out. It was like insane, right? And so this is where we started building agencies to that lead system. And then mortgages started blowing up. Everyone's refinancing. It was insane. And this happened for 8 years. So my income doubled, 5 years in a row. So those were kind of the heyday. And we didn't even know it would ever end until 2008, right? 2008. My agency Hierarchy did in September 2007, we did 1.9 million, right? Like right now, we're averaging about 700,000, 800,000 issue paid. Back then we were at 1.9 million. September 2007 was the most my hierarchy had ever done. And actually, Patrick Connor's group was the largest group. Leventovich's were second behind Connor's organization. And Patrick, in the entire life, Patrick had the most agency managers of any organization in the Alliance. So that was really kind of the culmination of the mortgage industry as it blew up. Well, over time, about 2008 happened, crash, and we went down from 1.9 million in September 2007 to December 2008. We did, Tara Hierarchy was 275,000. That's what 2008 happened. And we couldn't mail out mortgages, protection leads anymore because there weren't any mortgages, right? If you remember, the credit market slammed shut. So we went to final expense leads, which were about as cheap. We really didn't see much difference in cost. And then when the mortgage market came back, we started back with mortgage protection. And this is when the Alliance had its own mail house. So the Alliance had its own mail house. So the Alliance was doing all the leads. So over time, mail costs went up like crazy. Over time, as you know that mail costs have gone up. And then response rates, at least for mortgage protection, went from 4% to 0.25%. Right now, I think it's right at 0.2%. Okay, so not even 1%. Again, you talk to any direct marketing people, a good percentage is 1%. But direct mail mortgage, that's why the mortgage protection leads, if you can get them, they're probably, depending on area, they're in the $80 to $100 a lead range. Okay. So how things have changed, right? So and it's important I give you history because I want you to understand leads. So that's why we focus on final expense, because they're less expensive to produce. So what does the less expensive mean? Depending on area where you live and depending on demand, because now it's a competitive marketplace for demand and demand within the Alliance, right? right? So when someone puts a GMR in for direct mail final expense leads, if there's a high demand, those leads can be as much as $80 a piece for final expense direct mail leads. And then some areas can be as low as 40. So it's like 40, 60, 80, right around there. So that's what you're looking at. Is it profitable? Okay, again, remember our history is direct face-to-face appointments. So we're sitting down with people, and that was our history. Even during COVID, we learned how to do telesales, but as soon as we could, within a month or two, we figured out how to do face-to-face appointments where we'd meet people on a porch, their back porch. We'd do it through the screen door. We'd do a telesale in front of their house while we're parked out of it, and then run up to the house to get a signature, come back. I mean, and we were rocking it. We embraced the telesales side, but we tried to really go into the homes, and it didn't kill us really. In fact, we saw some growth actually doing what we were doing. But anyway, so because of the way marketing has gone in leads, social media leads start becoming popular, through Facebook and other social media. And it's easier and cheaper to develop social media leads. The only problem is with social media leads, number one, they don't have the shelf life of direct mail leads. Like direct mail leads, when we were working direct mail leads primarily, we could sell 1-year-old, 6-month-old, 1-year-old, and 2-year-old leads, for like $5. And people were still making sales on them like crazy. Like old leads, we were door knocking leads. And because they were so cheap, you were just cherry picking the people that weren't called or they weren't ready the first time around. So we had a very systematic way of reselling leads that were not sold. At least in our database, they show they were not sold. They were distributed. Someone bought it but didn't sell on it. And anyway, the bottom line is direct mail leads has a lot of shelf life to them. That's why people are closing old direct mail leads, and that's what we'd get people started with. We still kind of do that when we do have them available. So social media leads became the go-to lead because they were really cheap. The low intent ones, like the bang bang leads, are $5. The high intent ones are like $20. But the high intent ones, they're really basically telesale leads, and you got to be in 10 states to get access to those. And there's guys, in the alliance that are closing those. You got to invest $2,000 for 100, and then you just work them. Some guys were doing it $2,000 a month. There are guys now that are doing $2,000 every 2 weeks because they get 100 at a time and just blow through them. And they were high intent social media leads. Okay, now you could do social media leads locally, high intent. The cost is about as much. So everyone's like, well, how do I afford that? Well, you afford that by getting skills. Okay, you got to develop skills that you can close so that you're more confident that you can, close sales on the more higher intent leads. That's where we're at today. Is that social media is the only affordable way to get leads in your hands. Now, it still is true today. You either have time or you have money. What do I mean by that? Well, you have money to be able to invest in the high intent leads where you can get a return on investment. And you know what? Truly, the people that are killing it are the ones that know they got to dial the crap out of the phone. And so I don't have a lot of sympathy for agents that tell me that the leads don't work as good. I ask them how many dials that they make, and they tell me, well, it's 60 dials. Oh, okay, $60 in 2 hours? Well, no, I worked all day yesterday. Okay, you know that the average is about 30 dials for a slow agent, $30 an hour, on them 3 times in a row. I don't have a lot of sympathy. I might sound like I do if you're brand new, because I do, because you don't know what it takes to work leads yet. Okay, even with direct mail leads, if you weren't doing 200 dials, 250 dials to 300, 400 dials a week, okay, I'm talking an entire week, you weren't really working your leads. And if you weren't door knocking them, you weren't really working your leads. Okay, with social media, because they're low intent, the $5 bang bang leads are low intent. You and I know, come on, man, let's just be real. You got to dial the crap out of them to find the ones that want to sit down with you. If you don't have the fortitude to understand that and you want it easy, then find another profession, man. This ain't for you. Like, seriously, quit now, okay? Like, quit now, because if you're not willing to dial the phone to book appointments, now you could do preset appointments and you could do direct transfer leads. This is going to cost you more. So again, you either have time or you have money. You need to develop skills if you're brand new. So I vote for you doing social media, $5 social media leads, and bang the crap out of the phone so you can develop skills. You can develop fortitude. You can develop calluses so you can just cherry pick the ones that want to talk to you. I talked to Dakota, brand new agent. She's booking appointments on old leads. And you can't tell me she's brand new and she booked several appointments already and she's learning. And I'm going, this is what I'm looking for. An agent has a great attitude who's willing to pound the crap out of the phone, and she doesn't know better. She doesn't know. She's smiling. You're right. I love you, Dakota. You're awesome. She doesn't know nothing from nothing. And we didn't know nothing from nothing. Like, my agency did 100,000 $5,000 our second month because we didn't know what we were doing. Now, you guys can get skeptical, whatever, be skeptical, okay? You're always trying to find, well, so that person did it, but it doesn't really work that way. You could always say that about anybody. Again, it's the crap in your head that's telling you that. And if you can't get over the crap in your head, then I don't know how I can help you. I'm just trying to be honest, okay? So the leads are what they are. You're the one you make the difference. You make the difference. Like God's grace. We're all blessed with grace, but do we take advantage of it? It's up to you. It's there free of charge. You just have to activate it and let it work for you. But all too often we put umbrella on the grace that rains on us. We put an umbrella, because we don't believe. Well, it's like this business. It works, but sometimes you put the umbrella of skepticism, the umbrella of cynicism, and it's not going to work for you because you're not willing to pound the phone. Gosh, I wish everything was easier. I wish we had an easy button that we could press so that selling insurance would be easy. But whoever said selling insurance was easy? I've never said selling insurance was easy. Selling insurance is hard. That's why we make a ton of money doing it, because the wimps that can't handle how hard it is, they quit. And the people that are left making all the money are the ones that embrace the hard. Okay, now what's hard? Hard is taking rejection on the phone. Hard is being willing to make $700 a week to book 10 to 20 appointments. Now, is that hard? Here's what's hard. Hard is working on a roof, being a roofer in the middle of July when it's 100 degrees outside, right? That's hard. Hard is digging ditches, if you're a pipe fitter and whatever, you're digging ditches to fix a water main break. That's hard. There's so many hard things you could do. Hard is sitting at a boring job, wondering if there's anything better than this, and you're just tied knowing that they make you work 70 hours a week, but you never see your family. That's pretty damn hard to me. So you got to figure out what is hard for you. Hauling stupid leads, making $200 a day, that's not hard, man. Taking rejection, that's not hard compared to other things. To find the ones that you'd be able to serve and help. So that's why I'm giving you context. I want to give you this context because you have no clue the powerful things you can do with the lead programs that we have if you're willing to work. Now, having said that, hopefully you've got the message that leads, thank God we have leads, okay, because we can work leads. But if you're not taking advantage of every sale you're making on the leads with the RS referral system, you are stupid. Literally, I'm calling you stupid because you are stupid. Why? And I'm doing it out of love. Okay, I'm calling you stupid in a loving manner. Okay, so I hope you take it that way. Because if you're not doing the RS referral system off your leads, you're stupid because you're paying primo cost, meaning time. You might be spending $5 on the lead, but you're spending a lot of time dialing them to find the good people. And then you finally find someone who wants to sit down with you. You finally find someone who shows up when you show up. You finally find someone who says, yes, I want to cover my family because I'd love them. And you finally find someone who gets through underwriting and the policy is placed. And you finally find someone who keeps their policy. Out of the 50 leads that you called from Bang Bang this week, cost you $250, you finally sit down with someone that wants it. And you don't do the ERS referral system to get 10 to 20 referrals on our ERS referral system from them. You're stupid. You're literally stupid. Like, you could take offense at that, but I'm trying to impress upon you how hard, like I said, it's hard, right? So having said that, why wouldn't you want to get 10 to 20 names if you do the ERS right to get 3 or 4 more sales? Because it's easier just to call someone that someone referred you to through our ERS program than it is to buy 50 more leads to get 1, 2, 3, or 4 sales. Why not take the one sale that turned that into 3 or 4? And guess what? Those 3 or 4 sales turn into 3 or 4 from each of those because you're doing ERS on those. So you see this cascading momentum where you won't even need leads anymore, literally, if you do it right. Now, if you don't do it right, then you're going to continue to need leads. But imagine instead of getting 1 sale from 50 leads, you got 10 sales from the 1 sale. So really, you got 10 sales from 50 leads. It just started with 1 that turned into 10, because the 1 turned into 3 and those 3 turned into 6 if you do it right. Again, if you do it the way we teach. So I'm confused. Number one, that you don't do it. Like, it cracks me up. I look at the leaderboard and there's no ERS referrals. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you really want to make this hard. See, when you don't do the ERS referral system, or any referral system for that matter, you just want to make it hard. Why do you want to make it hard when you can make it easy? I don't understand that. Why do you want to make it hard effort. Oh man, it just cracks me up. I want you to succeed, but I'm trying to like shake you. This is me shaking you out of love. I want to shake you up. It's kind of like when your kid does something stupid and you know that they keep doing that stupid thing. They're either going to die or they're going to not, they're going to end up in hell. Like I'm shaking you right now. Okay, I'm trying to get through to you. Insanity if you're not doing ERS. Here's the other thing. Do you want to make it hard? Or do you want to make it easy? Another easy way, especially when you get started, is who do you know that needs life insurance? Well, I don't know who I know that needs life insurance. Right. That's correct. You don't know of the people that you know whether or not they need life insurance, right? So how do you know? But Alex, how do I know if they need life insurance? Okay, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to do this real slow. I'm getting very sarcastic here because I want you to hear me. You ask them. Okay, let me do that one more time. You ask them. So honestly, before we used to sell against that because we say, oh, you don't have to sell your family and friends because we have all these leads. Like honestly, gang, if you knew back in the day, we used to have 25,000 direct mail leads in inventory, meaning leads that had never been sold in inventory. So anywhere in the country, we'd get someone started and we'd have a whole buttload of leads that we can get them. And they were cheap. Can you imagine recruiting to a system where in Franklin County, Ohio, we had 157 leads in inventory, direct mail leads in inventory that an agent could immediately get and start selling right away. The fastest we were growing is when we had that lead inventory. And Andy Albright was pissed because that 25,000 leads in inventory, represents millions of insurance that had not been sold that could be sold on those inventory leads. So inventory was not good, but it was good because we could hire anybody anywhere and get them leads right away, direct mail leads. And I mentioned direct mail leads had a shelf life. So no matter how old they were, you still make sales on them. Well, we don't have inventory anymore. So here's my idea. What a novel concept. The inventory is the people that you already know. And so what I propose to you is make a list of everyone that you know and then start a marketing campaign to contact them. The first way to do it, in my opinion, is on Facebook, letting all your Facebook friends know, hey, I now have access to 55 life insurance carriers that can help you. If you happen to be in the market for life insurance, give me a call and I can run some quotes for you. How hard is that? I don't know. That's how you can break the ice with people. Then the next thing, and the best way to do it, is your Christmas card list. Like, who do you send Christmas cards to? People that you care about or people that you don't give a crap about? You send Christmas cards to people you care about. I'm assuming. Okay, now let's say you're not, you don't believe in Christmas, you believe in Hanukkah. Well, who do you send Hanukkah cards to? Who do you send birthday cards to? To me, the easiest one's a Christmas card list. On the Christmas card list, one of the things you can do is, hey, you can email them, hey, this is Alex, I just want you to let you know I have access now to be able to run quotes on AIG, Transamerica, Mutual of Omaha, a number of different life insurance carriers. If you're open, if you're looking right now for life insurance quotes, I can get you into some of the best products and the best, I can shop for the best quotes in the country. Something like that. By the way, I'm going to give you a call just to catch up. Send it to all your friends. Then give them a call. Say, hey, did you get my email? No, I didn't see it. Oh, okay. I just was announcing to everyone that I now can, quote life insurance quotes because I'm in the business now and I'm very excited. We've got some, very professional people we're working with. And I was just checking to see if you might be, looking for life insurance now. If you aren't now, maybe in the future I can help you out. Look, it's like asking someone, do you want ketchup on your hot dog or do you want mustard? If they want ketchup, awesome, because I love ketchup on my hot dog. If they like mustard, awesome. I love mustard on my hot dog. If they don't want anything, awesome. I don't care. I'm just asking. If they say, well, as a matter of fact, my wife and I have been, talking about it, maybe let's see what you guys can do. Awesome. It's simple. It's easy. Look, the worst thing that could happen is when you find out one of your friends or family passed away without life insurance and you're sitting here with a life insurance license and you never reached out to them and you could have, saved them the embarrassment of a GoFundMe page. That's on you. You should take full responsibility for your lack of courage of reaching out to people that you care about. If they die without life insurance, you should feel totally guilty, because that's on you. You should have let everyone know that you're in the business. Honestly, you should. So anyway, and then the other method is the 3-foot rule. When you start meeting people, let them know what you do. Find out what they do and let them know what you do. As a matter of fact, I work in financial services. I help people people that are worried. Okay, so here's the elevator speech. I learned through Sandler's sales system, the perfect elevator speech is one that evokes emotion. And so it starts out something like this. Hey, as a matter of fact, when they say, what do I do? Well, here's what I do. What I do is I help people that are worried about if they die or when they die, that they're going to put a major financial burden on the people they love to have to bury them, or their family has to pay the mortgage and they don't know how they're going to pay the mortgage. I help them with life insurance products. I help ease their fear, their worry, and I make sure they don't have to ever worry about that again. How are you doing with that? So you got to put emotions like fear, worry. I help people that are worried about the fact that when they die, their family are going to have to figure out how to pay the mortgage, or they're going to have to figure out the financial burden of being able to bury them. And they don't want their family to have to put out a GoFundMe, the embarrassment of having to put out a GoFundMe page to raise some money to do those things. So as a matter of fact, how are you with all that? You got mortgage protection where when you die, your mortgage is paid off? Do you have income replacement so when you die, your family could live the same lifestyle for the next 5 to 10 years? Do you have that? Have you already taken care of your kids? When you die, are your kids' college going to be paid for? See, when you believe in what you believe in, which I believe in life insurance, if you haven't already figured it out, I believe in life insurance. I believe what it could do for people. But Alex, I don't want to come across as a slimy salesperson. That don't sound like a slimy salesperson. It's in how you think, okay? Slimy salesperson's intent is to make money off people. When you have that intent, then you are a slimy salesperson. How do you not be a slimy salesperson? When your intent is one to serve people that need to be served, that have a need, and you're there to help them out, and you know that you're going to do the best thing for them, just as if they're your closest family. And you don't want them talking to some slimy salesperson because you're going to be the one with integrity that's going to serve them best. That's the intent. And if you use that intent, like I have a massive hero complex. I've always dreamed about being someone's hero, that I could, be the Superman. I always loved Batman and Superman because they're there to save the day. I have this massive thing that I want to save people. And so by that idea, I think that if you have that idea of wanting to help save people from making bad insurance decisions before, then I think you should have the heart to want to contact them, right? So anyway, I hope you understand why I'm talking about this stuff, because it's important. And I really want you guys to succeed. My buddy John Femiano, he's always been one, he's a big believer in the 3-foot rule. So I would bring John on to talk about kind of some of the stuff that he's done in order to make some of the big sales he's made. Is Femiano on here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude. So talk about what we were talking about before. I mean, we're talking about leads, and we were talking about how some of your agents were complaining about the leads, and
Yeah, I think coming back to our conversation, you brought up something about the fiche, right? So when I was first a stockbroker, we would get our leads on the fiche, and we'd have to go home at night. We had like the fiche machine, and you'd have to write 300. That was your assignment. Get home from work at 8 o'clock at night after pitching all day, and write 350 names on index cards to get your leads for the day.
Yeah.
And another thing you bring up is, listen, I'm a stockbroker by nature, so I like the phones, right? But what I feel that when I say the Alliance has great leads, the reason why I still stick to that is because the leads are real. And Alex, you and I have ventured together to find leads that aren't real. Like, we know what shitty leads are. The leads are fake, right? So, excuse my language, I'm sorry. So, the Alliance offers real leads. Right now, everything's cyclical. I think there's a lot of, the Alliance can't help if Joe Smith goes to the Alliance and hits on their lead and then decides to go hit 10 other leads. Now, when you call it, there's 10 people ahead of you. So everything's cyclical. You're going to get a lot of these people out of the business, and it'll go back to the way Alex is. For the time being, I still buy the leads. I still cold call, but I play to my strengths. My strengths are striking up conversations with people I know, striking up conversations with people I don't know, and turning that into a lead, right? And, first of all, the first thing is you can't fake empathy, right? When you talk to people about, hey, what do you do for a living? What do you do this? When you're trying, you may know what you're trying to get out of them, but along the way, the process, you need to really care. When you're asking somebody, hey, what do you do for a living? You go into a pizzeria. Hey, how's business going? When he answers you, you know why you asked him that question, right? But you really need to care. When he tells you it's going good, you need to be happy for him. When he says it's going bad, you need to feel for him. Say, oh, wow, what's going on? So that's the first thing about it. When you're doing face-to-face, you have to be true to the cause. And the cause is we truly believe that we're helping people. We know what we're doing for them is right. And you have to care about people. When I go in, what I like to do is whenever I go into a business, I'll say, hey, man, how's business going? I'll walk into a pizzeria. How's business going? It's going okay, blah, blah, blah. And I'll say, well, what do you do? Right? They don't know me. I say, I sell insurance. I always like to say insurance, the way they say it in North Carolina. You know, up here we say insurance. When I'm talking to people, my wife knows when I'm on the prowl, I say, I sell insurance. And she knows we're going to be in that place for a long time. So then what I'll do is I'll try to say, you sell insurance. I try, and they say, well, how's business for you? I'll say, no, actually, it's picked up. We're getting a lot of small business owners like yourself that because of these uncertain times, they have debt from the business, they need insurance. So that's why I try to drop the carrot. I always try to think when I'm in that moment, what they need. And you could only do that if you're listening to what they're saying, because you're striking up the conversation. You say to them, like you say, like the emotions, how's business going for you? You know, I'm a business owner too, right? So that's a great way. I've done ton of business with that. And then with the people I know, you can't go in there, in my opinion, as like, hey, I'm Judd, I'm an insurance agent and I'm here to help you. You know, you guys are like, hey, what's up, my man? You know, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. You have insurance. You know, you bring it up. People always say, what do you do? How's business? Business is good, right? You feel them out and you just come right up to them. You know, how you doing? You covered? You good? You know what I mean? And if they're not, you just come right out with them and say it. You look for signs, right? They just bought a house. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, did you add to your life insurance? Oh, congratulations. Awesome. Where'd you buy the house? Down the shore. That's great. It's like you added to your life insurance, right? I know they didn't, you know? Yeah. But you're bringing it up by kind of like, you got to bring it up, especially when they're people, you know, you got to bring it up in that friendship level, right? That's the way I do it. And that's what works for me. And once you get them, you got to service the heck out of them. Like and Alex taught me this, like when I have this one girl now going through underwriting, right? Every time I see something on F&G, I send it to her in an email, you know, I let her know exactly what's going on. And I make it kind of fun. I'm like, hey, I make it like the life insurance is a real, like a person, you know, hey, this is your life insurance policy. We need this, you know, try to lighten it up, try to make it more fun to them and get involved and ask them questions. I sat down with this one girl that Justin got me lead for, and she's like, I had a $200 term policy. I don't feel right about the guy. He's supposed to come tonight. I said, okay. I said, well, first let's go back to this. I said, you said you have a daughter, right? And Alex, write down their name and don't say you said you have a daughter. You have a daughter. Her name's Ariel, right? Awesome. So is your husband around? Like, where's your husband? No, we're divorced. All right. Is there something where you have to worry that if you pass away that he's going to want custody of her? Because now I'm exploring maybe the trust, right? She goes, no, you don't have to worry about that. She's like, he's kind of a deadbeat type. I said, okay. I said, well, who's going to take care of her? You know, she's like, I don't know. I'm like, all right, listen, this is what we need to do. You know, first we need to figure out what's going to happen to your daughter. I'm like, I'll either help you with a will. And I told her, you know, how I feel about a will because she can't afford a trust. But I said, I will help you with a will. I'll help you get that. At least it's something. And she's like, how much are you in charge of? So I'm like, nothing. I'm just going to help you as a friend. Right. Then I started asking more questions. What do you do for a living? I found out that she's a nurse. Anyway, she contributes $200 more a month than the company matches. So I said, you know something? I have something for you. Now I knew she was still leery. We're on the phone. So I said, where do you live? She goes, I live in Edison. I said, my office is in Homedale. I'm like, you ever in Homedale? And sometimes it's God, right? She goes, I'm going to be in Homedale 2 weeks to get my cat neutered. I'm like, great. We're going to meet at one of the restaurants I insure. You know, we're going to go for breakfast. I met her. I gave her a plan where the $200 came from her 401k money. So now she's, instead of trying, I could have hit her up. I could have said, hey, listen, I'm going to get you $200 from your 401k, but you're also going to contribute the $200 you're going to give to the other guy. Go for $400. But again, your empathy has to come in. Here's a girl struggling to support her kid. I was able to do her a huge favor. I still got it for $200 a month and I crushed it, right? She's in. Whenever I'm out, my wife will tell you, my daughter will tell you, they know as soon as somebody says to me, what do you do for a living? It's over. They know we're going to be there for a half hour, an hour. And whenever we go to a party and they walk over to me and she sees me like walk away with somebody and they come over to me, we're talking insurance. You have to know, I'm not one to go up to somebody and just say, hey, do you need life insurance? You have to, the Sandler approach, ask questions, and then you could come back and say, hey, you know, so I'll tell you another thing, right? On the ERS, right? So the people I deal with, and I know this is wrong because Alex has never told me anything was wrong, but I don't feel comfortable with some of these people I know saying for the ERS, right? But I know Alex is right. I need to walk out of there with something. So what I'll do in conversation, I'll say, hey, Joe, you know, what do you do for a living? Oh, and I never take out that green sheet. I memorize that green sheet. You know, you got to put work in. Memorize that green sheet. Nobody likes to fill out a form. You should know that green sheet by heart. So I start in conversation. I'll say, so what do you do for a living? Then when he says it, I'll say, hey, Dave, do you mind if I take notes? Now I take out my notebook. He says, yes. Now I start taking notes, right? Then I'll turn around to we'll talk about family. Hey, you know, where you from? You're from Brooklyn. So am I. Get out of here. You have any brothers or sisters? Yeah, I have a sister. What does she do for a living? She's a nurse. Oh, really? My daughter's a nurse. I'm like, you know something? She may be somebody I could help. Remind me before I leave, you know, to have you get in touch with her. Or give me her number. I want to call her up. So I walk out of there with referrals, but again, I do it in a different way. I try to make it part of the conversation, and I care. That's another thing. Right? I care. When he tells me his sister's a nurse, I'm like, my daughter's a nurse. Man, it's a lot harder than people think. She comes home crying sometimes, and I'll say maybe I could help them. And that's how I get referrals. When they sense that you care, you have to know your stuff, and you just open your mouth. It's the worst they could say. Think of something. You know what I say? I told one of my guys I hired, this girl, I said, listen, she's like, I'm not good at talking. I go, I don't know what to say. I go, say anything. Say anything. Walk into a store. When you're buying something and you're giving that store owner money, in that moment, he feels obligated to you, right? As you're handing him that credit card. That's the perfect time to say, hey, this is what I do for a living, and see if they bite, and don't be scared of rejection. If they don't bite, who cares? But that's how that's been my success. That's been my, that's just been how I do it. Just walk up to people. I go into stores, I don't know people. My daughter, she laughs. She knows what's coming. Hey, how's business? I do it all the time. How's business? This is a great store, man. How long you own the store for? I'm in New York in a deli. Well, that's a great store. You the owner? Man, that store is great. I'm like, how long you own it for? He's like, 10 years. I'm like, that's great. And they always say, what do you do for a living? What do you do? I'm like, I'm an insurance guy. And I'm like, man, matter of fact, and then they always say, how's business with you? Business is great. Matter of fact, I've been getting a lot of deli owners that need life insurance. They don't have enough life insurance. They don't realize it. Whatever it is you think they need, wills, trust, and people are looking for people they could trust. You got to be that guy. But again, none of what I do works unless you're on that Alex mode. You know what I mean? You can't fake empathy. You got to care. Like when I'm on the phone with somebody, I could be having all things coming at me. And when I was listening to that girl that I opened up, that girl Kayla, talk about how she has no husband, she has a 9-year-old, and she wants to protect her. Like in that moment, I don't hear anything else. Like I'm feeling it. And I want to be that person. I want to be that solving problem. I want to be that person that says, hey, something, I can help you. If you don't feel that, then don't try to do what I'm telling you to do. Stick to another way of doing it, because people are like dogs, man. People sense it, And I'll give you one thing about cold calling, right? If you're having problems cold calling, go Google right now, what's the 10 best things to say to people when you first talk to them after they apply for life insurance leave. And the first 10 things that come up, write it down and cross them off your list and think of something else, right? Because everybody, you need to sound, when these people are getting saturated like they are with leads, you need to get on that phone with them and you need to say something different, something they're not hearing. And you just got to figure that out. And again, that also comes to putting in the extra work, right? I have to make money here. I have no choice. The alliance is, a big part of, is a nice part of my annual income, right? I can't. So I have to figure out a way. And I've always been like that. So I'll just say to you, don't give up. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And get out there and just talk to people. Just strike up conversations. It's great. Like all I do is talk to conversation, ask them the questions, let them answer. And they will tell you, if you ask them the right questions, they will tell you what's going on with their lives. Like I said, you just bought a house. Oh, that's awesome. And then how they just bought a house. You know what they need. Oh, you just bought a house. Oh, that's awesome. How's business with you? It's doing great. I've been doing a ton of term policies. Everybody's buying houses. They don't realize that they have $1 million in coverage, but now they have a $400,000 mortgage and they need more coverage, And they're like, and they feel, it's weird. They kind of feel like you see in their face, like even like if they don't, they know they should, in that moment, you can see it in their face. Some of them are a little reluctant, but you see it in their face where they're thinking, they're like, oh man, this man's right. This man's right. And if you have, if you're that guy that they trust, if you build that rapport with them, you've got to be a good guy. You got to be that type of guy. You'll do it. Yeah. That's really, I think it, unless you have any questions.
That's good stuff, dude. I love it. Exactly. You have to have the right intent. If you don't have the right intent, then it's going to come up being slimy. Now, let me introduce you to our training website. Okay, training.avnfinancial.com/home. And the stuff on referrals, ERS referral system, this has all the good stuff. Click on that ERS. This is comprehensive, not a lot, but effective, and it works. It just works if you use it. Like I said, you work hard to make a sale. You got through all those leads, you got through all those conversations. They showed up, they buy from you, and serve them with the ERS. Because remember, the ERS systems, again, the intent of the emergency response system is to make sure that they have a network of people that will call you when they die. And we're not talking about next week, next month, or next year. We're talking about 25, 30 years from now, that 1 out of 10 will remember to call us so that, that the death claim process can get started. And those are statistics. The ERS system has worked for deceased clients. We've had them call their network, call us the agent that the person died or they're sick in the hospital. So it does work. It works like it's supposed to. So remember, the point of the ERS is not to get referrals. The point of the ERS is to make sure the client's fully covered with people that will call you so that the policy will be paid out to them, to their beneficiaries. Okay, that's the purpose. The byproduct of serving them with that incredible opportunity is the opportunity to talk to their friends and family, their ERS contact list, about how you can help them the same way that you help their friend with life insurance, annuities, whatever the needs are out there, you're able to do that for them. Okay. So again, it's all about intent. The byproduct of the ERS is the opportunity to help their family and friends. Okay.
Alex, can you say, I don't mean at all to say that I don't think the ERS works, right? That's not my intent. My intent is to say that Alex talks about the ERS every week. If you're not going to do it and you're not going to listen, do something. Do something. You know what I mean? Because doing something is better than doing nothing. But I have everything Alex has ever told me to do. I'm a thick-headed, so sometimes I have to do it a little bit different. But everything Alex has always told me to do, he's never steered me wrong. So I am not suggesting that there's anything wrong with the ERS or not to do it. Just do something.
So there it is, gang. These are the opportunities that you have to multiply your lead investment, because it's all about return on investment, right? And to maximize your return on investment is to do these things, okay? Do these things. Does anyone have any questions I can cover? Anything? Anybody?
Hey, Alex. I just wanted to say something, if that's okay. I was reluctant at the very beginning to do ERSs, and I'm doing the direct mail leads, so I'm dishing out a lot of money for those direct mail leads. And I realized that it just was not, I don't want to say stupid, but wasn't wise for me to be doing that if I'm not going to get the ERSs. And also the training that Alex showed, if you also go to the advanced sales training, Alex has a 1-hour boot camp on ERS. That's what I used that really helped me as well. And the main thing is I just add that index card when I go out to get the beneficiary, and I list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on there. I put their name on the top and I write emergency list, and I say I need at least 5 names. And honestly, I think I'm just going to get either a bigger card or start trying to do at least 10. And that's my goal coming back from the funeral. When I get back, I have time on Friday when I get back to the hotel from the funeral home or from the funeral, and I'm going to take my ERSs with me and I'm going to start contacting them, because I'm not doing that. So I'm not serving the people that I promised I was going to serve.
1 hour, 1 hour.
Oh, I do have it. Okay. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I forgot that I even had that on there. So this is our advanced sales training that's right here. And this is where I did Saturday morning training sessions that were in depth on sales. So booking appointments boot camp, sales system boot camp. This is the Sandler Sales Submarine. Yeah, I went into a lot of detail on that. The RS referral boot camp. These are averaging right around 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Placement persistency boot camp, and then examples, ATM. Oh, telesales training. I keep forgetting what I've put on here. Let's see what that leads us to. That's interesting. I have to check that link then. Well, I need to fix that link because it'll take you to the telesales training. But anyway, bottom line is that it's all there. Yeah, thanks, Mary. Anyone else? Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, there she is, Nakota.
Hi! The bubbly Nakota. No, anyway, whenever you do ERSs, because I have my first, well, actually, I've already been to a sit, but I didn't think about ERSs. Whenever I ask for ERSs and they give me the numbers, should I ask my client if it's okay to try to sell them insurance, the ERSs?
Yes. So when you do get the list, it kind of the last thing you ask them is, oh, by the way, if they ask me about life insurance and doing quotes for them, is it okay if I give them that information too? You always want to ask their permission, but you want to phrase it in a way that, hey, if they happen to ask me about life insurance or, all the things that we sell, annuities and retirement planning, this is also another way to kind of tell your client, other things that we do, Medicare, so on. Is it cancer policies? I keep throwing stuff in there, but is it okay if I talk to them about it? They're always going to say yes. They're never going to say no, but you have to make sure you plant a seed in their mind that that conversation may come up.
But we're not stepping on toes.
Right, exactly. Because sometimes it has happened when the client finds out and they get upset because the other person was upset. But it's all in how you bring it up to the other person on the ERS. And we train that in the training. We talk about how you do that, how you make the phone call and so forth. It's very laid back. Trust me, it's very easy, laid back approach. We're not pressuring anyone. We're just kind of putting it out there. And then they're the ones that let us know if they need any help or not, right? We're not trying to push ourselves on them. But here's the coolest thing about ERS, which I love, is that when you take care of them, they take care of one of their referrals with a policy, then you do a selfie with with that person.
Yeah.
And then you text it back to the original client saying, hey, Martha was very fired up that I was able to help her with life insurance. I just want you to know that we took care of her and you can feel good that one of your friends got protected. And so what it does, it gives them the good juju feeling. Guess what happens? Hey, can you help this other person? Because they weren't on my list, but now that you helped her, I just thought about, see what happens. It's this mushroom effect. Selfies are mega important. That's why we do them. And you want the selfies to go out to every referral person too, because you're going to text them and then you have the selfie with the original client. So they see that you're already buddy with them. It gives you tremendous credibility when you call them up. See, the ERS system works so beautifully. It works so beautifully if you do everything that we teach that, again, you're stupid if you don't use it, right? So it's a beautiful system. Again, it involves a lot of selfies, and again, I don't want to get into training it because we don't got time, but if you do everything that we teach, makes sense? And here's the other thing. Let's say you already have a list of clients, but you've not done any ERS with them. Again, you'd be stupid if you don't go back to your old clients. How do you bring that up? It's like, hey, Joe, this is Alex. I've been, in a review. It's probably good that we probably get back together again. But also, our company has implemented a new emergency response system, to make sure that your policy gets paid out. So we need to spend about 15 minutes. When can I come over? You don't explain it to them. You just say what I said. It's a new system that'll ensure that your policy gets paid out to your beneficiaries. It only takes about 15, 20 minutes. What's a good time for me to come over? I've got tomorrow free between 3 and 5 p.m. or between 5 and 7. Which one's better for you? Boom. You should be able to book every single one of your former clients that you've not done ERS with. Another opportunity. Did that cost you anything? No. Cost you nothing. Cost you zero, zilch, nada to go back to do ERS on all your clients. And then, oh, by the way, we've got the legacy safeguard system that you could also, implement with them. But God forbid, if I ever give you too much to help you make money, I don't want to give too much to you right now so that you can make a ton of money with us. I'll just give you this for now. We can go into the legacy safeguard system later, which is an offshoot, really kind of this whole idea of getting referrals by serving them with another type of service. So, okay, we're kind of at the end of our time. Anyone got any last minute questions at all?
I actually do have one more question. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Last one, I promise. Obviously, I've only scratched the surface of the ERS training, so this might be a question you've gone over in your video, so forgive me if I haven't watched it yet. But do the ERSs actually help pay out the clients?
Well, how it does is that they notify us when the client has died. And think about this 30 years from now. Because their family, they've lost their policy typically. No one can find that they even have a policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've gotten calls from people, about missing policies. And the ERS is like the last line of defense. When that person calls you and tells you that so-and-so died, that's going to be the only reason why the policy gets paid out is because they inform you and then you inquire what happened and you're the one that knows the policy. You know that they have one. They've been paying it all these years. Their family, they don't know. Their family has no clue except for their emergency contact list, right? So that's what I mean by we'll help them get the policy paid out to the beneficiary.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Absolutely. What you're telling them is true.
That's awesome. Definitely a good thing.
Great question. Appreciate you asking a question. All right, gang. Well, I appreciate y'all being on this call. I hope this helped you. I hope this kind of shook you up to do what you ought to be doing to help your family. out there, and to help all your previous clients, and help your clients that you're closing now, that you're taking care of now, with helping to ensure that their policy gets put out using ERS. So, and then the 3-foot rule, just talk to people. Be proud of what you do, and don't get that crap out of your head. Satan is putting crap in your head saying, oh, I don't want to be a pushy salesperson. No, you are not, when you do it with the right intent of wanting to serve people that aren't served, people that have needs out there that you don't know that they have it or not until you have a conversation with them. Okay. So anyway, gang, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being on here. I'll get this video up, but get on the website and learn these things. Okay. All right, man. Learn it and then implement. So God bless everybody. Take care.